Hello everyone. In the last lecture we discussed about why we needed dimensional modeling. To understand that, we first discussed about the ERD or the relational model that was used in OLTP systems. Then we discussed why ER models were very successful with OLTP system and why there is a need of another dimensional model for the decision support system. Now let's try to understand why we need dimensional modeling. In order to understand that, we will take a look at uh, one of the slides here. So it is an ER model of a retail store or different retail company. So if we look at different entities available inside this ER model, so if we take a look at this entity named as division, it has an attribute division and an attribute province. It means that this entities will store the division inside a province, and there can be multiple divisions inside a province. So province is used as a foreign key here. And similarly, this entity is for storing districts. So there are multiple districts inside a single division. So division is used as a foreign key here. And by looking at the relationship, you can see that a district has a one-to-many relation with division. Similarly, there are multiple cities inside a district. So district is being used as a foreign key here. Similarly, inside a city there are multiple zones, so there is a one-to-many relationship between a city and the zone. And similarly, inside a zone there can be multiple stores, so zone is used as a foreign key here. Now similarly, when a sales order comes, so the receipt number here is a primary key inside this sales header table, and store number, which is a foreign key that is coming from store table, and a date at which the order has been placed. Similarly, this table, sale details, contains the order detail inside this table. So similarly, receipt ID now here is used as, now receipt ID and item ID is used as a combined primary key. Here inside that primary key, receipt is being referred as a foreign key here from the sales header table. Similarly, this item number, which is used as a foreign key here, it is coming from this item table, in which item number is a primary key, but it is used as a foreign key inside the sales details table. Now inside item, the item can be a from particular category, so the category is being referred as a primary key. Now uh, the category table is also available here, whose primary key category ID is being used as a foreign key inside the items table. Similarly, the item is actually referred inside the suppliers table. So similarly, item has suppliers. So there can be multiple suppliers. So for an item, there can a supplier can actually supply multiple items. So here is a one-to-many relationship between the supplier and the sales detail. So by looking at this whole ERD picture, we can actually know there are multiple entities available here, but uh, from this ERD diagram, how can we answer these all questions? Uh, so when we talk about ERD models, uh, we have some observations that are actually needed to be answered. So what are these observations? If we look at these all these tables, we are unable to understand which tables are more important inside an entity table. Of course, by looking at this table, we can see that this uh, by the perspective of a business view, these two tables are very important, but when they are different variations of an ERD, so how can an end user identify which tables or which entities are very useful or very important for our business? So by looking at the ERD, we cannot tell that which tables are important for the business analysis. And by looking at the table, ERD's headers or entities header, we can not tell which table will be the largest table, so that we have to optimize our queries according to the size of the table. Similarly, which table contain numerical measurements of the business. Now, uh, these two tables actually, sales header and sale detail, actually contain the measurements, but uh, how can we know these measurements are related to a business? There can be a table like, say, items itself, which actually are the products, which actually stores the uh, unit price of a product, but is it uh, as an important table or an important table for our business, which contains the numerical values? So the most important table that contains the numerical values can be a combination of measurements and the static description of that measurement. Let's say we can say that uh, a table contains the sales of the products for each region inside a country. So that table tells us that this table contains the sales according to the products inside every region of a country. So that will be more important, but from that ERD we cannot tell which table contain that kind of measurements. Similarly, the last question, which table contains merely static descriptive attributes? So now here are multiple tables available here that contains the descriptive measures of an entity. But if there are multiple tables available with the descriptive uh, measurements, how can, if we have to actually get those data from these multiple tables, we will have to make many joins. So these are the problem with ERD that leads us to another model, uh, which is very useful for decision support system, and the name of the model is dimensional modeling. And similarly, why we need dimensional modeling? Because if I, in an organization there are multiple developers, and I give a scenario to all the developers and I ask them to build an ERD for that scenario, uh, they will, everybody will look into their imagination and will try to design the ERD for that scenario. And when you will look at the different ERDs created by those developers, these ERDs will be very different from each other, because everyone has its own imagination and will create its own ERD according to its ideas or concepts. So it is very difficult to actually so it is very difficult to choose between those ERD that are provided by different developers. Even it is very difficult to remember all the combinations or all the possible ERDs. And similarly, it is very difficult to remember if you choose one ERD from all these ERDs provided by to you. Then it is very difficult to remember at all the entities that were inside that ERD. So after looking at these different scenarios, that why we need dimensional modeling for decision support system, let's look at some other different contradictory statements uh, that give rise when we talk about ERD model to use for decision support system. So when we said that an ERD model actually creates more entities than we desire. So when it creates more entities, and then we actually model our logical model into physical model inside the database, so there will be multiple tables for the multiple entities available. And when you will try to access data from those entities, it will actually take more time to uh, get the required information from those tables. So that is a contradictory statement for the ERD that we will use for uh, decision support system. So this statement saying trying to make information accessible using tables resulted in an inability to query them in efficiently. So when you have created multiple tables from an ERD, and when you try to get the information from those tables, again when you will try to get the information from multiple tables, you will actually create more joins, and more join results in a bigger product of rows. And when the DBMS system have to get multiple products from a system that is fully normalized, it will have to actually make more effort to get the results, so it will take more time to actually uh, execute the query. So the query performance will be very degraded in case of a relational model, or in case of an ERD model. So ER and normalized tables results in larger number of tables, which are, so we discussed that when we normalize our database, so we actually make more entities or more tables in order to avoid the duplication. But in order, when we try to avoid the duplication, actually uh, we uh, we do not have any idea that how it will actually it will actually uh, make an effect on the performance of the queries to analyze the data. So again, when you use normalization, you actually create multiple tables, and it is very difficult for a database developer to remember all the tables and all the relations between those tables. Similarly, when there are multiple tables and when you try to get the data, DBMS software is actually unable or inefficiently get the data, which takes more time to get the data from the database. So what was the purpose of an ER system? The purpose of an ER system is to actually um, query the table individually based upon some uh, key values, or the purpose of the ER system was to actually get the results from more tables using joins, but these joins should be limited inside an ER model. When the number of tables increase, the number of joins also increase, and when the number of joins actually crosses a threshold, the ER system fails to actually provide us good performance. So again, the too complex for queries that span multiple tables with a large number of records. So it is when you have multiple tables inside a database, and each table contains multiple, actually a million and billion of rows, so it will be very difficult for an ER model, uh, for a database that is using ER model, to actually provide us the results in a quicker time. So by looking at these all the scenarios that in which why we need dimensional modeling, and how we actually came to another model from an ER model, because we looked at different limitations of ER model for decision support system. So in this slide we will discuss about what is the difference between an ER and dimensional ER model and dimensional model. So first difference is the ER models is actually used to optimize the OLTP performance. And what is an OLTP performance? OLTP performance is actually counted in terms of the reduction of the duplicates or the redundancy. So the performance of in OLTP system, it is actually used to eliminate the redundancy from an OLTP system, and it is used to um, record all the transaction in an efficient and effective way. So ER model actually that are fully normalized, that provides us that facility that we can actually optimize our OLTP system. But dimensional models are used to actually uh, enhance the performance of a query, because in dimensional modeling or in decision support system, we actually are more focused on the results from multiple tables. So when we try to get the results from multiple tables, we need a good query performance. So dimensional model is actually is made for better query performance. The second difference is between ER and dimensional model is ER models the macro relationship between data elements. Again, we talked about an ER model for a retail company that was actually it was actually making a relationship between different entities, like say district was actually related with Division was actually related with cities. Cities was actually related with zones, and zones were actually related with stores. So there were actually, these are a hierarchy. So let's say we talk about hierarchy in a dimension. Let's say we can say that a country has multiple provinces, so it is one hierarchy. And a province has multiple districts, so this is another hierarchy. In multiple districts there are multiple divisions, inside multiple divisions there are multiple cities, and inside a city there are multiple zones available. So um, ER model tries to get each entity for each noun. Let's say it creates one entity for country, another entity for division, sorry, district, another entity for division, another entity for city, another entity for zone, another entity for store. So there are multiple uh, entities available inside ER models to actually make a relationship between them. But inside a dimensional modeling, actually we also create entities, but we name them as dimensions. And if we look at that there are multiple hierarchies available inside a dimension, then we do not create multiple entities, but actually we create one dimension with all the hierarchies available inside that dimension. So we make the entities based upon a strategy. So what is the strategy? Strategy is here is that we do not have to make multiple joins to actually get the results. So we have to, in order to avoid multiple joins, we have to avoid multiple entities inside our database. So dimensional modeling actually provides us with that strategy to actually limit the number of tables inside the database model. So the third difference between an ER and dimensional modeling is a wild variability of the structure of ERD models. Again, we discussed that for an ERD model, there can be multiple variations for a ER model for a scenario developed by multiple database developers. But when we talk about a scenario of retail company in case of a dimensional modeling or in case of decision support system, we will look at one of the very simple schemas that is called a star schema, in which the dimension names can vary, but the schema will be the same. Let's say we will have a one fact table centered inside the star schema, and there are multiple dimensions linked with that fact table, so that facts inside the fact table can be described in terms of the dimensions. So we'll take a look at the facts and dimensions in more detail in our next slides. But here the difference is there can be multiple variations for an ERD model, but there will be only one way of looking inside a decision support system for a dimensional model. So when we talk about ERD model, the four difference is that the ERD model, when we create that ERD model, we actually predefine some of the queries, that these queries will be executed according to that ER model. So their execution plan is actually optimized before actually running the queries. But in case of dimensional modeling, the decision support system are actually made in such a way that from if our decision support system gets an answer from the database, and that answer leads us to more questions. Now these more questions actually results in form of an SQL statement. So these SQL statements are not predefined inside decision support system or the dimensional modeling. So the dimensional model is actually made in such a way that it actually supports the dynamic SQL or the queries that are actually automatically generated by the queries decision support system. So the main difference from the last point is that ER models are actually made for the predefined queries, but dimensional models are actually made in such a way that you can automatically generate more SQL queries from the answers provided by the decision support system. So in the previous slides, we discussed about the limitations of ERD model to use with the decision support system. Now, how can we actually simplify our ERD data model or our relational model to use with decision support system? So ERD model can be actually simplified using two methods, actually with the combination of two different methods that are denormalization and dimensional modeling. So what is denormalization? Actually, denormalization is bringing the third normal form to at least the second normal form, so that we can actually merge multiple entities inside them, and so that actually the merge word actually can be replaced with using collapsing of tables. So collapsing of tables means that we can actually join multiple tables, so that actually we come to a fewer entities inside ERD model. The second thing is dimensional modeling. So when we actually denormalize our tables, and so when we have to join those tables that are actually being created using denormalization, so we can actually join them using a simpler schema. That's, those schemas can be star schemas and snowflake schemas that we'll discuss in our later slide. So these two techniques are very useful to simplify our ER model. So again, in the next slide we will discuss about what is dimensional modeling. So what is dimensional modeling? A simple logical model optimized for decision support. So we need that kind of model that can actually analyze the data in a very simple fashion. So for in order to analyze the data in a simpler fashion, we need a simpler logical model that is actually the simplification of an ERD model. Uh, so inside a dimensional model, there can be multiple dimensions at each corner of the model, and inside and at the center of the model there is a fact table that is actually described in terms of those dimensions that are at the corner of the table. So again, I will give you an example. Let's say we want to look at the profit of a company. So the profit of a company is a numerical value which is inside the fact table, but that profit can be described in terms of product, in terms of region, in terms of store, in terms of provinces, in terms of time. So we can say that the profit of a company uh, in a particular month, at in a particular province, at a particular store. So so this statement is showing us that the fact profit can be described in terms of time, province, again region, and the country. So there can be multiple dimensions actually at the corners of the schema, and the fact table will be at the center of the schema. So multi-part key for the fact table, again when the fact table in at the center of the schema. So the, let's say the fact table profit or the sales is at the center of the schema. So there will be multiple dimensions that will be used as a foreign key inside that table. So the the key that will be generated inside the fact table, it will be a multi-part key, because multi-part key means that the fact will be described in terms of different dimensions whose keys are being as a foreign key inside that fact table. So dimension tables that will be at the corner of the schema will have a single primary key, a single part key. So again, these keys are system generated. Mostly these keys inside the dimension and fact tables are actually system generated, and we try to keep them as an integer values. So in order to avoid any discrepancy of the data, because data can be represented in different formats inside different operational systems. So in our decision support system or in a data warehouse, the data should be in such a format that it can be easily actually accessed. So that's why uh, we take the keys as an integer values inside the dimensional modeling. So again, what is dimensional modeling? So when we have a fact table at the center of the schema and the dimension at the corners of the schema, so the structure will be like a star structure. So in a star structure, at the corners we will have dimension, at the center we will have a fact table, and the relationship between the dimension and a fact table is one to many relationship. So it means that from a fact table, so one dimension can be, let's say we have a dimension called product. So product can be referred multiple time inside a product, because a products can be bought inside multiple stores at multiple regions at multiple times. So the product can be actually referred multiple times at at the fact table. So there will be a many to one relationship between the from fact to dimension, and from dimension to dimension fact the relationship will be one to many. So there will be one to many relationship between the dimension and the fact, and there will be many to one relationship from the fact to the dimension. So single path between any two levels. Now when we talk about the difference between ER and dimensional modeling, we said that all the dimension hierarchies should be in a single dimension. They should not be maintained in a separate entities, but the dimension hierarchy should be inside a single dimension, so that the path from one hierarchy to another hierarchy will not have to uh, actually bring more entities inside the query, but only one table with different hierarchies inside that can be used to actually query the data. So then we will have dimension and fact. So simply that model can actually support role app operation. We discussed about role app operations. The one of the example was of a role app operation was a cube clause. So we discussed about the cube clause. Cube clause, what it does when we provide all the dimension the fact to a inside a query, and we try to actually uh, bring some aggregates using cube columns. So these cube columns actually come from different dimensions, and the fact actually comes from the fact table. So this kind of model actually supports our role app operation that results in uh, in form of a cube that can be actually used to analyze our data. So when we again we discussed that dimensions of hierarchy. So similarly, like this example, that items is at the top level. Inside items we can have multiple categories like say books and clothes, and inside books there are different other categories available. So this is the hierarchy is going from less detailed information to the more detailed information. So uh, if we have, let's say we talk about another hierarchy that was geography, and inside that geography at the top level we have country, and inside the country we have provinces. Inside the provinces we have actually divisions. Inside the division we have districts. Inside the districts we have cities. Inside the cities we have zones. Inside the zones we have stores. So when we talk about hierarchies, we actually uh, bring all the hierarchies of a dimension and put them inside a single dimension. So we do not have to make more entities for that dimension. So there will be lesser number of entities available in that case. So analysts, what they do, analysts tend to look at the data through dimensions at a particular level of level in the hierarchy. Similar, I discussed earlier that analysts first they want to, let's say I take the example, I want to see the sales at the country level, then I want to see the sales of a product at the province level. Some of the analysts want to see the profits of a product at the city level. So similarly, when we will have hierarchies inside our dimension, we can look at the detail from uh, very less detail to the very more detail. Actually, the higher level of detail to the lower level of details that can be actually used with the help of hierarchies inside a dimension. So again, in our dimensional model, when we talk about dimensions, we actually have to maintain hierarchies inside our dimensions so that all kind of an analysis can be done for a particular fact inside the business. So there are two different schemas. First, look at the star schema. When we talk about star schema, at the center we have the fact table that can be, let's say, for example, it can store the profit, but how for which dimension it is storing the profit. Let's say it is this dimension is a product. This dimension is actually let's say time, and similarly there are different dimensions available. So let's say this is geography. So similarly, so the fact table will store the profit of a country, of actually of the geography based upon the time. Now again we discussed that in time dimension we have can have multiple hierarchies. Let's say in time dimension we have hierarchy of year, quarter, month, week, and similarly in the geography we can have a hierarchies of country, or province, or district and division and cities. So we can look at the profit of of a dimension of a particular hierarchy at different levels. So let's say in a simpler terms, we can look at the profit year wise or month wise for a particular, for all the cities for a particular product. So similar in simple terms, again, we can look at the profit across all dimensions at different level of hierarchies inside them. So, and what is the snowflake schema? Snowflake schema is actually then actually what we do, we can actually normalize all the dimensions like in an ERD system, but in that case we will need more joins to actually get the data from the decision support system using snowflake schema. Star schema is a very simpler logical model for use inside decision support system, and that is highly recommended for decision support systems.